Alright guys, welcome back to my review of this week's TNA Impact Wrestling for September 13th, 2012. This is the big fallout from No Surrender. And Austin Aries comes out and he says that the Aces are after him because he's the champion. And even though he didn't get to unmask any of them, he still got to take a nice piece out of their ass. And he starts talking about Jeff Hardy. Hardy comes out. Aries puts him over for winning the BFG series. And then Bully Ray comes out. He says that both of them are lucky. They're lucky that Aries doesn't have to face him and that he took it easy on Hardy because he was injured by the Aces. Hardy and Bully decide to fight again. Actually, Bully doesn't really agree to this at all. It was kind of funny. He's telling Hardy, don't take that shirt off. And he doesn't agree, but they kind of play Hardy's music early. And then Tenay says, that match is later tonight. So I don't know. I think he kind of jumped the gun because after the commercial he says that well, we'll have to wait and see if the match is official. We have to hear from Hogan first. So I think he did kind of jump the gun on that. Backstage we see James Storm arrive. So I guess he was bailed out of jail. And Zema Ion versus Sanjay Dutt for the X Division title is the first match. This was a pretty good match. Dutt hits the moonsault double stomp and Zema gets a foot on the ropes. Dutt goes up again and Zema knocks him down and rolls him up for the win. I'm glad. I thought for a second they would put the belt on Sanjay Dutt, and I think it's just a little too early to take it off of Zema Ion, so I'm glad Zema won this. However, afterwards, Zema hits Sanjay in the head with a hairspray can and then puts him in the armbar, so I guess they're going to continue this feud, which I think is good because I don't think it's asking too much to have at least one X Division segment a week to build the division. I mean, Kenny King may be thinking over how he left Ring of Honor now because we haven't seen him in a while. So they really need to build this division up. We see Kazarian and Christopher Daniels in Hogan's office. Hogan drinks an appletini with him. And Hogan puts Daniels against either Chavo or Hernandez and Kazarian against either AJ or Kurt Angle. And if they lose their matches, then those teams get a rematch for the tag titles. AJ guarantees Kurt Angle that he's going to win. And so he goes to fight Kazarian. Wes Briscoe shows up to talk to Kurt Angle. They've had Wes Briscoe on here a few weeks ago. Maybe a month ago. I can't remember. It feels like it's been a while. And that was it. And now he's on this. This is the only time he's on this show. And he just talks to Kurt Angle. And Angle says, let's go watch AJ. He's one of the best guys in the business or something like that. And that was it. So what are the fans supposed to think about this guy? Like, I'm not really sure what they're doing with him. Bobby Roode comes out, and he says that he wasn't allowed to get another title shot after he lost to Aries, and he basically didn't think Storm deserved one either, which is why he attacked Storm. And Los Loco Latino Heat 26 actually called that on the TNA No Surrender predictions video. He actually called a lot of stuff they've done. But yeah, that's the storyline. Roode didn't think Storm deserved it if he wasn't able to get a shot, so he screwed Storm out of the BFG series. Storm comes out, attacks Roode. They go backstage after commercial. Tenay says it was broken up by officials. We didn't see any of this, but Kazarian versus AJ Styles. AJ beats Kazarian with a Styles Clash, so Kurt Angle and AJ are getting a rematch for the tag titles. Hogan tells Brooke Hogan that he doesn't want her going anywhere. She just needs to go between New York and LA for a while. And when she is at the Impact Zone, which should be often since she's one of the general managers, that he wants 2 bodyguards with her at all times. Joseph Park comes in and says that he has some big evidence coming on next week's Impact. Hogan says he's going to blow some people up with it. And he asks Park if he will be Brooke's bodyguard till he gets back. Park kind of flirts with her or something. I don't know. It was weird. Joseph Park is another guy who just shows up randomly. They haven't really done much with. So backstage, Bully Ray asks Jeff Hardy to put up his Bound for Glory shot in their match later. Hardy keeps his eyes closed this entire time because, you know, he paints the eyelids and he likes to put that over. So any chance he gets, he keeps his eyes closed. So Bully's telling him, he's like, if you're a man, you'll put up your title shot against Austin Aries at Bound for Glory in our match tonight. And Hardy just keeps his eyes closed, and then he pops his eyes open, and he agrees. and then he goes right back to closing them. So Hulk Hogan comes out. He says Jeff Hardy's from another planet. He pulled out the win, and the Impact Zone is on permanent lockdown, something all the King's men couldn't put the Aces back together. Something like that, Hogan said. I don't know, it was crazy. But the Aces come on the screen, and they ask if he locked them out or if he locked them in. So I guess the Aces are living off of the food stand late at night and maybe running around Universal Studios at midnight or something. I don't know, but they tell Hogan that anyone could be one of them. The fans, anybody. We get Chavo versus Christopher Daniels, and this was alright. Chavo hits the Three Amigos and the Frog Splash for the win, so of course Chavo and Hernandez are now getting a rematch for the tag titles too. We see Evan Markopoulos. He's the next gut check contestant. They play a little video for this guy. Storm says that he's not done with Rude yet. And then Tara comes out. She congratulates Miss Tessmacher. Tessmacher comes out, and Tara says that she proved she was the best and will always be her boo. She wants to present Tessmacher with the belt. She puts it on her. Of course she attacks her, hits the Widow's Peak. They're going to continue to build this feud up. And I think it has potential. It's good that it's kind of like the teacher versus the student angle. At least it's something for the Knockouts to be doing. Oh man, then we get the Dixie Carter meeting. This was insanity right here. Dixie Carter's having this meeting with Hogan, Pritchard, D'Lo, Al Snow, and Brooke Hogan. Dixie says she's looking over her shoulder at home. They got to do something about these Aces. And Hogan says it could be someone in this room. And then the camera does this close-up of all their faces, like dun dun dun. And it doesn't play that music, but it's like that. And it's just, it cuts to all their faces, and it's just so damn cheesy. But yeah, this is obviously, a pre-taped segment that they put together. And it was just really over the top, I thought. But we get the main event, which is Bully Ray versus Jeff Hardy. The winner gets the match with Austin Aries of Bound for Glory. And Hardy wins with a twist of fate and a swanton. But these two had a pretty good match. I like this a lot. And then the show just ended. They didn't do anything else with the Aces again. And I'm just going to go ahead and say they're not in a rush to reveal these guys. And I can't blame them. Because right now, the Aces, the big thing they have is the masks. And once they take those masks off, they're not named guys. If you're thinking that they're going to reveal themselves and it's going to be like Goldberg or something, it's not. In fact, this might be a spoiler, so I'm going to go ahead and warn you now if you want to turn the video off. Two of the people who they have said are potential Aces, Luke Gallows and Wes Briscoe. That's it. Now the leader could be Bully Ray, Jeff Jarrett, something like that. But as far as the members we've been seeing, Luke Gallows and Wes Briscoe. Yes, the guy who was talking to Kurt Angle earlier in the show. That's it. These are not named guys. So that's the reason the TNA is kind of holding off on revealing them, because they know once they do, no one's going to give a shit. I mean, Luke Gallows and Wes Briscoe. So I do like the angle, and I like the way it's been done so far, but they really do need to try and get some talent in there. But yeah, they're kind of backed into a corner with this. I knew about the Luke Gallows, Wes Briscoe thing for a long time now, and I was thinking about it, and it makes sense why they've done so little with them. Because they know that it's getting to a point where they're going to have to reveal him. And once that mystique is gone, they're stuck with Luke Gallows and Wes Briscoe, and the fans are not going to be happy about this. So I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're trying to hold off on it until they can bring in some other names or something. But yeah, that's just my opinion on why they're holding back on this Aces angle for right now. So anyway, I have to say that this was a pretty good show overall. I enjoyed a lot of the stuff. Sure, there was some goofy moments. Dixie Carter and that whole meeting was just crazy. And the Aces didn't really do much here, but I thought it had some good matches, and it wasn't a bad show this week. So that's my review of this week's Impact Wrestling. Hope you guys liked this video. Leave your thoughts on this week's show in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Bye. Alright guys, welcome back to my review of this week's TNA Impact Wrestling for September 13th, 2012. This is the big fallout from No Surrender. And Austin Aries comes out, and he says that the Aces are after him because he's the champion. And even though he didn't get to I think he did kind of jump the gun on that. Backstage we see James Storm arrive, so I guess he was bailed out of jail. And Zema Ion versus Sanjay Dutt for the X Division title is the first match. This was a pretty good match. Dutt hits the moonsault double stomp, and Zema gets a foot. He doesn't agree, but they kind of play Hardy's music early. And then Tenay says, that match is later tonight. So I don't know. I think he kind of jumped the gun because after the commercial he says that, well, we'll have to wait and see if the match is official. We have to hear from Hogan first. So I didn't ask any of them. He still got to take a nice piece out of their ass. And he starts talking about Jeff Hardy. Hardy comes out. Aries puts him over for winning the BFG series. And then Bully Ray comes out. He says that both of them are lucky. They're lucky that Aries doesn't have to face him, and that he took it easy on Hardy because he was injured by the Aces. Hardy and Bully decide to fight again. Actually, Bully doesn't really agree to this at all. It was kind of funny. He's telling Hardy, don't take that shirt off. And